Sincerely speaking, I do not, I did not even like the idea of PANYAKO contesting for the seats. Not just PANYAKO, there are so many people in Malava who should not even have appeared on the ballot paper. Sincerely speaking, and I want to talk about the days of, you remember the Mlolongo? PANYAKO really reminds me of the need for Mlolongo. I've recorded it, but I'll repeat it again and say, expound, but very briefly about Mlolongo, because PANYAKO has really reminded me of Mlolongo. Queuing voting was so much defamed that people do not see it clearly. People do not know why it was started, how it started, and its importance. The truth of queue voting is that President Moi had a very good intention of queue voting, but some things just cropped up. The initial reason for starting queue voting in 1988 was that there is no need. Look at the Malava by-election. Look at Malava by-election people who are there. Not even that one. The booklet had so many names. So Moi had an idea that we should have a maximum of 3 serious candidates. Now, look at Malava, among others, where they say that I don't know, 5 or 6 people who appeared on that ballot paper got 0-0 in this polling stream or this polling station. That is what Moi initially wanted. He wanted a maximum of 3 serious candidates. Somebody just contests Malava or any other constituency or even a Senate or even whatever, and the person would be very lucky to get even 300 votes in a general election. But what spoiled the Mlolongo was that Moi used to, like what the former director of intelligence said, Moi preferred informal intelligence more than formal. So in the informal intelligence, he was told that there was a plan to have very many people as MPs who will impeach him. Those days it was not impeachment, it was vote of no confidence. So that is how Moi then ordered this: anybody who is suspected to, and this is who are returning officers, use that opportunity to 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 rig out people who are popular. From the word go, I believed that there were only 2 serious candidates. If I had powers and dictatorship to dictate, sincerely speaking, there are only two leaders there who could, what do you call it? Who could even have, we could go to a presidential debate. People who could address issues. And those people were David Dakwa and Edgar Busieka. Those are the only people. And those are some of the MPs whom you would tell somebody, this is my MP, and you will be respected. We have some MPs, kina Oscar Sudi. Anyway, Oscar Sudi kwa maendeleo anajua, but we should have MPs who, if there is a Commonwealth parliamentary meeting, he or she goes and talks sense and moves other MPs from the Commonwealth. So in Malava, there were only 2 candidates. Everybody who was being mentioned, some of them are personally known to me and whatever, but sincerely speaking, imagine so and so, I won't mention his name or something. I just say, I go to his WhatsApp group or I go to his page. Imagine I'm campaigning with some other people, and then you come to my page, WhatsApp group, or even my social media page, and say that you give the list of people who are supposed to be leaders, and you exclude my name in my page. You see, there was a way I was telling everybody, and I even went to an extent and said the only two people who could make good politicians were Busieka and David Dakwa. It even reached a stage where there was a lot of pressure from the UDA camp. There was a lot of pressure from the UDA camp where where Dakwa was being compelled to step down for the son of the former MP, just like what happened in Kasipur. I remember addressing Dakwa publicly through social media, telling him that I know the people in your constituency have faith in you. Now, if you are going to step down for somebody else, then accept that the seat will be taken by the opposition. And I can tell you, in a one-on-one fight between Dakwa and Edgar Busieka, Dakwa will win, yes, but will win under two conditions. Winning, he will win, but he will win with a very small margin, and he will have worked for tirelessly. He would have had sleepless nights. Those are the two. But then something happened, and Dakwa came back to the field. They didn't do a Kasipul on Malava. And two, Edgar Busieka resigned. He stepped down. In fact, by the time Edgar Busieka stepped down, already in a fair fight, as I said, he could not beat Dakwa. But the forces within UDA initially were pushing Dakwa to step down for Ryan Injendi. Now we come to the purpose of this recording today. The purpose of recording today was to do on possibility on the candidature of PANYAKO. Well, a lot of people are calling him Rat. A lot of people are calling him Panya. But if you go to the internet, you'll find I'm the one who called him. I said Panya ya huko, yani the rat for that place, or Panya ya uko, a rat for the clan. I do not know much about. I remember when I was in the intelligence, I never handled the trade union desk. And those days, trade union was not as hot as today. Actually, desks such as trade union were given to people who were wale hawafikirii sana, because it was not very active. But nowadays, I expect wale wana those who can play chess and you wanapewa desk ya trade union nowadays. But I don't know what criteria they use in trade union to place a person like PANYAKO. But we still remember that it is the same line of duty that has had at Woli. So trade union, I think they have that type of thing. And then one thing PANYAKO does not know, is that Atwoli is very rich. Atwoli is very rich. Atwoli is very powerful. Atwoli can even appoint people, so many, to be MPs and whatever. There's even a time when he sat with the caucus of lawyers to determine who will lead the lawyers in political. But you can win a lot of people when you sing solidarity forever. But when it comes to politics, that is, you see, trade union, you just have to convince your colleagues that you have a natural, you are naturally high on bang or such things, that they'll take you. But when it comes to politics, is another thing. The other thing about, major thing about PANYAKO is, in politics, you need somebody who can observe a lot of things. Bwana ako kajamaa kako na hasira ya mkizi, hata hasira ya mkizi haikaribie. That fellow has a short temper. In a very little. Now, what was leading him to answer back to Leto. Once you declare that you want to be a political leader, there are a lot of people who will just come there to annoy you for the sake of. Like I can enter into a mudslinging contest with him. He can he can he can apply a lot of mud on me, but I'll not appear on a ballot paper. But if I apply mud on him, it will go there. He has a short temper. But most importantly, we do not want Kasipul Kabondo type of people. Not Kasipul Kabondo, but Kasipul type of people. We do not want them. Not in Kasipul, not even in Pluto. It is quite painful, even on a personal scale, to find that some politician. Now look at a person that like the late Malulu Njendi. Look at a person like PANYAKO. You know, it is not worth it. It is not worth to shed blood. It is not worth it. You have your kids. You take your kids to the best schools in Kenya. Some even are taken abroad. If you look at their children, these people are young. I think I'm 15 years older than 15 to 20 years older than the late Malulu Njendi, and I'm old enough to be a father to because somebody who was born when you're 25 years old, I'm over 25 years older than PANYAKO. You find that these people are taking their children to the best schools, they're doing whatever, but they're taking youths, Kabras youths. Some are even being taken out from 5-star hotels to be made. You know, it pains even from a very personal level. Imagine somebody who used to work in a 5-star hotel being photographed fighting over with moths, and somebody, hawa watu ni wachawi bwana. They convince youths who are just working well, and they are out there with their scouts. They look for kids who like akikunywa bia mbili tatu, he starts fighting. Those are the kids that wanapembelezwa. Leave that formal work, just stay at home. At the click of my finger, you come and beat people up. When Nani was alive, Malulu Njendi, I used to tell him a lot of things, and you find even when he died, a lot of people said, "Yeah, Malulu really misdeveloped the constituency." A lot of people say Malulu misdeveloped the constituency, but they said when he was dead. I mean, I used to tell him when he was alive. And you see, he could send people. There's somebody who was calling himself Sijui Mteule Sikoli. Now, oh, you used to work in the police. It is not about me. It is you who has been placed in parliament. It is you who has been placed in parliament. I may be a madman. I may be walking the streets of Nairobi, whatever. Don't. You know, he used to. Malulu Njendi used to call people. You criticize him, he calls you. Come, I give you some money. You go to a certain place in a corner. He sets goons on you. That was Malulu Njendi. He's dead. I told him when he was alive. That is the same technicality that PANYAKO also is of that quality of school of thought. And if you know about Malava politics, is that when elections were nearing, you'd find goons, boys from Kabrasi sub-tribe, hired on this side by Malulu Njendi and on the other side by PANYAKO. And they would set upon themselves, fighting themselves in a very strenuous fight. And what happens with Malulu Njendi, sons, I mean children, what happens to, and they have built castles. They have built castles where they have floodlights there, so that these youths every evening goes there. That is why from the word go, I did not want Malulu to be there. You can see now the way he was behaving. Now, if you look at the way he was behaving at the police station, I don't know. At the time of shooting this thing, there were reports that he has been arrested. Now, what was he doing at the police station? Sincerely, eh? I come from a tribe, Luhyas, they say that kuna watu wanaroga watoto wa watu. Now you go to the police station and shout all those things. I can say that from where I'm seated, already he committed two crimes, and which he can be charged. One, he can be charged with causing causing chaos in a public place, where he went, instead of going there to report that his gun has been ambushed or anything, you know, he went and started wailing, said everything. Now, according to him, his uh, his car was shot. His car was shot by an AK-47. It's quite interesting. I know he, I know he has a challenge in reasoning, but AK-47 uses the same caliber as G3, and with a seven, there are several guns that use that caliber. How can you be sure that it is an AK-47? And how sure can you be that the person using that gun was a Munandi? Because he didn't even say Kalenjin, he said a Munandi. And then he was saying, I was saying funny thing. So I know his reasoning is like a Nuro Kanga. He's like Nuro Kanga. They are, you know, my teacher, my law teacher in when I was a cadet officer, was the late Nyaseda. Nyaseda used to boast, and it is true. Nyaseda used to boast that he's the best law teacher outside a law university, and that is true. You know, people are coming up with an idea that saying that if you mention Ruto or any other VIP in the negative, the Ruto will be compelled to come to give evidence. And you know, when Ruto is compelled to come and give evidence, he'll not come, and the case goes that way. I've talked to Panyako. I talked to him even before he offered himself as a candidate. I just told him, let the Cabras people play football. Your friend whom you used to play with rugby is dead. Just don't continue with the politics. He did not listen to me. What did he do? He took his thugs and he took and inherited Malulu Njendi's thugs and combined them, and thought that having a militia will make him win the election. So what happens is, people, my law teacher used to tell me that people should read law collectively, and that is why the late Kajwang, Otieno Kajwang, used to say, when you read the law as read together with, people forget that, as read together with. Yes, he said sijui Ruto akuja auwe sijui mama yake sijui baba yake sijui nini at the police station, and he wanted, and he carried his own cameraman so that he's seen to be attacking Ruto as a person. And then when he's taken to court, he wants to say that, call Ruto to complain. But you see, there are two criminal offenses he has committed, which he'll be charged with one. He may be charged with one, and he may be charged the second one as an alternative charge. It is rare for the two to go together, but it is not impossible. I said it is rare. He'll be charged with causing chaos, public a breach of peace in a public place. That is one. Two, he's talking in a language which is tribal. Nyinyi Wanandi sijui nini nini. You don't talk to. You may have feelings of a certain tribe or clan or sub-tribe, but you don't go speaking that in public. Now he'll be charged with that. And you see, there are 2 to 3 police officers who will say they were on duty and he came. Instead of going to the report office and reporting his thing so that he's given an OB, he went opposite direction and started shouting there. And this is what he shouted. So he'll be charged with both, he may be charged with both creating disturbance and also talking enough. But in most likely, the two will be, one will alternate with the other. Why do we use alternating? It was done at the same time, the same circumstances and whatever. And you may even find himself foolishly tying himself to one of the two. He'll just say, you see, he may be asked to answer that and he'll say, I said Wanandi wamekuja kuiba kura kwetu, so I didn't make any sin. I never touched anybody. So he'll have tied himself with having spoken things which, what do you call, national cohesive will be interested in him. That is why I would appeal to Malava people. My praising of these 2 young men, 2 young sons of mine, because if you look at David Dakwa, the year he was born, and if you look at Edgar Busieka, I'm one generation ahead of them. I'm somebody who can sit on the same table. I'm around the same age group with their fathers. I would wish, because I remember when Busieka's father died. Busieka's father was 2 years younger than me. I'm older by 2 years, so Busieka automatically is my son. You saw when he was talking about his father, he said he even forgot about him being made a nominated MP by DCP. He just said that he has programs, and when he was burying his father, he was convinced that PANYAKO will be made the MP. So he was saying, even in that time, I have my own program. If PANYAKO doesn't fulfill them, these are the type of people we want. And you see, you may have a very powerful torch, but during noon, your torch may not be seen. But you may have a very weak torch, and if it is very dark and you light your torch, it will be seen from far. What do I mean? Is that Malava constituency and any other constituency in Kenya should move away from Thagarist politics of people like PANYAKO, people like the late Moses Malulu Njendi, and even people like Khalwale. Khalwale and PANYAKO are people who are trained in medical facilities, but you see the way they talk. Why should you be trained to? Okay, we have where I come from. We have people who are old ladies who are said Vikumba lady or Mafira ladies. They cause you a problem traditionally. That is, I can't explain it in English, and then they treat you. Now these people in the medical, they like sagnishness and whatever. They do that maybe to give their colleagues in the medical profession a job. Now look at the way Khalwade was addressing a public meeting. Look at the way he was addressing a public meeting. He says ameshika mpira na nyamba na nyamba na nyamba. Now, is that something you can go and explain? I mean, I thought, I may be wrong, I thought Khalwade had come to tell the Malava people how PANYAKO being elected would utilize properly CDF and such things, how he develop things and whatever. But he was saying ndio huyo na mpira, ndio huyo mpira anapita nini, anakuta Mudavadi kwa goal, anapiga shoot, Mudavadi anajaribu kushika na miss, inaingia goal, Mudavadi ananyamba. Now, is that such a person, somebody who is paid 1 million shillings by the Kenya taxpayer? So we want, if you look at these upcoming young men or young people who are coming up in politics, they address issues. They look at things, how our health facilities, infrastructure and whatever. Na unaona mtu kama Khalwade is a graduate. Khalwale is a graduate, but his name is Khalwale. Now find out what the name Khalwale means, and you'll not be shocked.